Just reverse mortgage, direct mail and lead generation. So I've had a career of like 27 years of doing direct mail, mainly for mortgage companies. I've sold advertising for, Auto Trader magazine, and I've done it for mortgage companies, forward, reverse, solar companies, windows and doors, car dealerships. I mean, I've had most of my career was selling direct mail. What happened is a big Orange County direct mail company that I was running sold, and I had a non-compete for like 2 years. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't sell direct mail. This is all I know. And I'm like, these mortgage guys that I'm doing direct mail for, they're making a lot of money. And I think I could probably figure it out. So I opened a mortgage company in Temecula in the year 2000. And I got to a point where I was spending $200,000 a month on direct mail, and I was funding about 100 loans. So it was costing me $2,000 to get a loan funded. This is back in the IndyMac countrywide option arm days when we were making 2.5, 3.5 points on these loans. So I'll never forget, at the end of the year, my accountant said, Jeff, you spent $2.4 million on advertising. You're crazy. And I go, yeah, but Fred, look at the bottom line. The company made $2.4 million for the year. So I made exactly in profit what I spent in direct mail, which I always found kind of interesting. $2,000 cost per funded loan. I'm funding 100 loans a month. I had a warehouse line and a real estate company and an escrow company. And it was a great business until the end of '07. Everything crashed. I shut the company down. And I say I went back to my day job, which is selling direct mail. So I opened Overflow in 2008, and I've been back in the direct mail business, nothing to do with the mortgage business anymore, but I know it pretty well. So it helps finding the right list, the right direct mail piece. I've been a buyer of direct mail and a seller of direct mail, and not too many people can say that at a pretty high level. So I can help design campaigns. What are some of the problems we're facing in direct mail? I mean, saturated data. Some of these seniors are getting 2 or 3 mail pieces every month from the big boys. Let's call them AAG, Liberty. I don't know if One Reverse is still out there, big mailing, but they're getting a lot of mail. So your letter has to stand out in the mailbox. But more important than your letter is the data. You have to target people who really have a need for a reverse mortgage, because it's really not so much a want product. Every once in a while someone wants it, but it's more common that when you need it. We were just talking about, people going into foreclosure that are 70 years old with 30% LTV, like finding people like that. So the data is just so crucial. Testing different mail pieces. We do a brown envelope 1 month, a white envelope the next. We do a postcard. We do a newsletter. You have to mix up the mail piece. So that's just a little bit about what we're seeing in direct mail. Some of the challenges is just a low response rate, and how to fight that is better data, better offers, better mail pieces. So a few of the mail pieces that we do that are kind of unique, I'll just show you. This one on the left, we found a list of seniors who had been taken advantage of by contractors taking out a 16% hero PACE loan for home improvement. And a lot of them just didn't know what they were signing. So we found a list of seniors 62 and older who had a really bad hero PACE loan where their property taxes went from $2,000 to $15,000 a year. It's crazy, and they didn't even really know. So we mailed them this letter with a credit card saying, get rid of your hero PACE loan through a reverse mortgage or through a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Kind of an interesting offer, interesting list. So that's very successful for us. The handwritten letters, seniors still remember, right, when someone would mail them a handwritten letter. So we have handwritten letters with Post-it notes that are personalized with a real 55-cent stamp on the envelope. When a senior gets this letter, this envelope, we have like a 99% open rate, and they read it. And if it's from a person, a human being, where they can actually call a loan officer that's good at reverse mortgages, it makes a big difference. And we get a really high response rate on these. The bottom right of my screen is a new letter that's a full face envelope. So that whole front of the envelope is a window. And what we've done is we've taken Google Maps images. So I have 40 million mortgages in my homeowner database, and I have 40 million different pictures of their house, and I can show a picture of their house through the window envelope. So when you get this at your house, you're like, wow, that's a picture of my house. It makes you open the envelope. This is a pretty new technology that we built with Google Maps and Google Images. And that particular, showing a picture of your house on the mail piece, it kind of freaks some people out. We've had some minor complaints on it, but your picture of your house is on Google Maps anyways, right? It's out there, and we just copied the photo from Google. So we show it through the window envelope, it gets the envelope open. So just showing some unique mail pieces that we do that are a little different from everyone else. You know, I always like to study the big boys, and we have 70,000 homeowners that send us copies of all their direct mail. So I have a library of everybody's mail piece. So if you want to look at, okay, what is AAG spending $1 million a month on direct mail on? I can pull the mail piece. This is all public information. Anybody doing direct mail, I've got a database to go in and find out the top 10 reverse mortgage companies in America, what are they mailing? Because if they're spending millions of dollars on direct mail, you can guess it's probably working. So here's just a sample of a mail piece that I see AAG doing. This is not my client. This is not my mail piece, but I do like looking at what people are spending millions of dollars on because it's probably working. And we just kind of share and do some market analysis on that. You know, a few more mail pieces that I just found, reverse mortgage mail pieces. It looks like Good Life, First American Home Loans, just kind of random, but everything a little bit different. You can see the two letters on the right side are getting the data from the credit bureau because you have the big box at the bottom that says pre-screen opt out. You can call the credit bureau and stop them from selling your information for direct mail. So two people are mailing credit bureau information. You know, they might be mailing 550 to 600 FICOs with one mortgage late and targeting seniors that are having a real hard time that need a reverse mortgage. Credit bureau does not have a real good idea of what these houses are worth. So I overlay my AVM, automated valuation model, to find out and make sure these people have 50% equity. The credit bureaus aren't very good at that, but they are good at targeting seniors with bad credit, seniors with mortgage inquiries. They're out shopping for a mortgage. They're tapped out on their credit cards. So we can go into the credit bureau and get data. We can go to our public record file. I've got 80 million homeowners, 40 million mortgages in my office that we kind of splice and dice to find the right mailing list. You know, age, equity, loans, children. I'm going to jump right into kind of the overall, you know, ROI, because that's what everybody's interested in, right? I sell 10,000 letters for anywhere from 39 cents a piece to $1, depending on what mail piece you're doing, what data, if you're mailing first class postage or third class, but our average price is around 70 cents a piece. So if you mail 10,000 letters and you spend $7,000, I'm not going to lie to you, the response is not high. It's 0.2 to 0.5. So you're going to get 20 to 50 phone calls. 0.5% response would be 50. That's the high side. I wish I could sit and tell you, if you spend 10 grand, you're going to get a 1% response and get 100 calls. You're not. It's too saturated out there. There's too many people mailing. So it's not an easy market. Right now, when I mail 10,000 FHA streamlined letters, I get 200 phone calls, a 2% response, because there's not a lot of people mailing and it's low hanging fruit. So 20 to 50 responses, you know, a good reverse mortgage loan officer might be able to close 20% of their calls, and a bad loan officer can close about 5% of the calls that come in. So I just use 10% as a pretty doggone good average. If you talk to 20 to 50 people, you're going to close 2 to 5 loans. So you're going to spend, with me, just my part, $1,400 to $3,500 cost per funded loan to get a reverse mortgage loan in the door. So the big thing you got to be aware of is, what's my average profit on a loan? I mean, you're going to write some $50,000 loans that you make $2 grand on, and you might write a $300,000 loan you make 30 grand on. So how much money are you going to make on 2 to 5 loans, and can your heart justify spending $1,400 to $3,500 cost per funded loan? If you look at some of the big reverse mortgage lenders, like an AAG, I've heard rumors they're spending $3,000 to $4,000 cost per funded loan. But I guess if you're doing 1,000 loans a month, or 2,000, or maybe it's 500, I haven't seen the recent stats, but you know, there's a lot of money in that in volume. But for one loan officer to spend $7 grand on a mailer, hopefully one loan covers your cost and everything after that is profit. You know, we have aged internet leads, seniors that are going to websites, filling out leads saying, I want to refinance my mortgage. When we mail those people, we get triple the response rate. We have homeowners 62 and older with a PACER Hero loan, homeowners that are currently in a reverse mortgage for like Heck'em to Heck'em, which is kind of not all that popular right now, but high response, really low conversion. You know, I have a list of every senior in America who's turning 62 this month. So I mail a letter, happy birthday, your birthday present is no more mortgage. I think that's a great idea if they've been waiting to hit that 62 to get a reverse. So we have birthday lists, we have tax lien lists, we have the credit bureau, low FICO, tapped out credit card lists. I'm talking fast. I think, am I good on time, Don? Maybe 5 more minutes?
You bet, go for it.
So the different mail pieces, we might test a color letter versus a black and white letter. So sometimes black and white gets a higher response rate. We might try a double window envelope or a snap pack. The snap pack is the one you've probably gotten in the mailbox that you have to tear apart. It's kind of annoying. It gets you to open it. It's kind of tricky. Snap packs get a higher response, but we kind of trick people into opening them. So once they finally get them open and find out it's a mortgage solicitation, sometimes they're mad. We do public record mortgage data from CoreLogic, Black Knight, Data Tree, all the way through internet leads, people filling out a lead form that they want to get a mortgage. And those leads sometimes we'll be able to provide their email address and their phone number. So you mail the direct mail out and you get 30 calls, but now you have 5,000 or 10,000 people that you can call back or email and generate more leads off your advertising campaign. We put toll-free phone numbers on all the mail pieces. So every time your phone rings, it records the phone call, sends you an email, and you can listen to how you did on your phone call, or even more important, how your loan officers treated your $200 phone call. It's sometimes sad to hear loan officers pick up a phone call and say, who is this? And, you know, what's your social? And, you know, listening to phone calls and getting your loan officers to convert these incoming calls. These are $100, $200 phone calls. They got to treat them like they're $200 phone calls. So we record all the phone calls, email them to you. You see how many calls you get. You get the caller ID. You can make the phones ring to 5 people at the same time or rotate around to 5 different people's cell phones if you don't have a phone system in your office. So toll-free phone tracking and downloading reports is very crucial to make sure you're getting an ROI on direct mail. We do reverse mortgage newsletters. Sip of water, I'm talking too fast. So let's say you have a database of 1,000 people sitting in your office that you've talked to about a reverse mortgage that never converted. Send us those 1,000 people and we'll customize a newsletter and talk about let your home equity work for you with a reverse mortgage, access your money, what you should know about a reverse mortgage. This is more educational and a softer sell. We'll put your picture on the newsletter, start mailing a newsletter every quarter to your database or maybe a warm prospect list. It's amazing how much seniors enjoy getting mail, especially on the COVID lockdown. Everybody's home, our response rates have doubled. People have nothing to do but go to their mailbox and get mail and actually read it. It used to be they spent 30 seconds with mail. Right now they have nothing else to do. They're spending 5 minutes looking at our mail piece. Our response rates have actually doubled in the last quarter. So reverse mortgage newsletters customized with your picture, your data, or my data. Every time you get a phone call from direct mail, you go to my website and put in a PIN number and it shows everything about the property. The first thing it tells you is who owns it, who's on title. Is it husband, is it wife, is it both? What's the square footage? What's the house worth? A Google Maps picture of the house. And then you get to see all the liens against the property. Do they have a first mortgage from 37 years ago with a $4,000 balance? Did they open up a home equity line? So all the liens against the property. So when you talk to this person, you just ask them for, give me the PIN number on your letter, and you have a whole history of their life in this home, in this mortgage. So you don't have to ask 20 questions. They're pretty much all answered here. What the home's worth, property taxes. So this is kind of an awesome system when you get the call to look up the PIN number and find everything about the homeowner. You know, how does a direct mail campaign work? You say, I want to try direct mail. We pick out which campaign you want to do. Get a letter or a snap pack or a postcard designed. We send it to you. You sign off. We figure out what data you're going to want to mail. You want to mail certain cities, states, zip codes, credit scores, hero loans, all the different things that we have. Birthday, 62 next month. And then it takes us 5 days to print and mail. And about a week and a half later, the phones start ringing and you get your calls. All the calls come in within a month, most of them in the first couple weeks. So my sales rep, Jen, has been working with High Tech Lending, and she's been with me for a few years, really sharp. If you wanted to get more information, you can call Overflow and talk to me. You could email me, but Jen is kind of my point person working on a lot of the reverse mortgage campaign. So that's her contact info. She was on this Zoom, this webinar. So I think she made it over to listen in, but Jen works with about 20 mortgage clients around the country doing direct mail every day, every week, every month. So that is my presentation as quick as I could do it. And I don't know if you want to open it up for questions or do it later, how I'm doing on time, Don. Can I?
Yeah, I got a couple of questions for you, Jeff, and one, thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate it. You do a great job. And I love that picture of the house that you have through the plastic. It'd be great if you could have like the homeowner mowing his lawn. That would get him. Or Clint Eastwood saying, "Get off my lawn." Hey, you know what I wanted to ask about was jumbo reverse. In that seems to be a bit of an elusive thing for us. We love jumbos because we're California. We actually closed a $3.3 million reverse mortgage last month where the person owed $3 million. His payment was astronomical. It was like 30 grand a month. We were able to pay off the 3.3, get him a couple hundred grand in cash, and the commission was $106,000 to the company. So how can we use direct mail to generate jumbo reverse mortgages for the proprietary product?
Yeah, that's a great question. Trying to find people that have a $500,000 mortgage balance where the property is worth $3 million and they're actually in need of money is tricky. It's not the easiest group to find because most of those people are pretty set. They've got resources. They don't need a reverse mortgage. So trying to find the one who does is a timing issue. I would love to talk that further into, okay, here's everybody with a $500,000 mortgage and their house is worth $1.5 million or more in Newport Beach. Now, who needs a reverse mortgage? How do we find out where there's a need? Maybe their credit score dropped, or maybe they have an inquiry on their credit report. They're out shopping for money, and you got to wonder why. You know, Zig Ziglar had a famous quote that I think relates to reverse mortgages. You know, last year there was 2 million quarter-inch drill bits sold. Not one person needed a quarter-inch drill bit. What they wanted was a quarter-inch hole. And I think that's so relevant to reverse mortgage, where nobody really wants a reverse mortgage. They want what it will do for them, you know, and that's what we have to sell. So that would be a great. I did one jumbo reverse campaign for Finance of America Reverse. They spent about 100 grand on it 6 months ago. They just sold enough loans to basically make their money back. It was not a huge success, I'll be honest. But, you know, you don't try direct mail once. You go in and say, okay, what worked about this and what didn't? Let's change the data. Let's change the offer. Sometimes a new product, it's hard to just hit it out of the park the first time. You're better off spending 5-10 grand and do a few tests until we get it right, you know? So
what you're saying is that direct mail so far has not proved to be a great medium for the jumbo reverse.
No, because we haven't been able to identify the right list of people at the right time with the right offer. And some of that is shame on me, shame on my clients that just don't know. They don't know who are these people that need this loan. There are people out there. I'll tell you a funny story. Our business, because of COVID-19, dropped by 30%. It was brutal, right? I went from 70 employees to 35 employees in March. It was horrible. Now we're back to 50 employees and we're only down 15%. All these mortgage companies are doing mail. We're doing millions of dollars worth of mail again, which is great. One of my competitors sold direct mail to car dealers. His business dropped by 70%. He's been in business for 50 years in Buena Park, California. I just heard a rumor, the guy's 92 years old. He just did a reverse mortgage, took 300 grand out of his house to pump it into his direct mail company to stay open, which I thought was funny. There's a senior with a lot of money, successful business where timing just changed. He needed money and he needed it badly, right? So it's funny. We put my grandmother in a reverse mortgage 20 years ago. She was 72 years old, had a $700,000 house in Torrance, California, LA County, where I was born. She owed $32,000 on it. She was a LA handicapped school bus driver for 40 years. She barely had any retirement. We put her in a reverse mortgage with Wells Fargo at 72 years old. She just died last year at 92. She was in that house for 20 years getting a little check for I don't know if it was like $1,200 a month. She was able to buy Christmas presents for her like 37 grandkids every year and have an amazing life. And all 4 kids were happy to use some of the equity to have mom have a great life. The kids weren't greedy. My mom and, you know, aunts and uncles. So we just sold the house. She passed away. We sold the house. All the kids got their little inheritance, not as big as they would have gotten if she didn't do the reverse mortgage, but she lived an amazing life. So I believe in the product. I know the product. It's just, it's not for everyone, but love to identify the opportunity out there and go market this product because I like it. It's a great tool, you know.
And I did have one other question for you. Back when we did some mail years ago, your technology was able to grab their IP address. Is that what it was? Where you were able to actually not just mail them, but you'd also be able to tap into their IP address if they use Bing or whatever it was, and actually start to market them online also. Do you still do that?
Yeah, we do some variations of that. So if I direct mail 10,000 people, once I have their name and address, I can reverse append their IP address on about half of them. About 5,000, I can find their home computer address and push ads to them. So the thought is the whole multi-channel marketing. You send them direct mail, which is great. You hit them in their mailbox. But now let's go get their email address and let's hit them in their inbox. Now let's get their home computer IP address and send a banner ad right to their home computer. So it's kind of that multi-channel. We can do that. We also have a system now where we put a code on your website, and every time somebody goes to your website, we grab the IP address and match it back to a home address and mail them a card. So everybody going to your website, 3 days later, they get a card, a postcard in the mail saying, hey, you were on our website, you didn't complete the form. We call it WebGen Mail. So there's all kinds of exciting technology that is coming into direct mail where it kind of blends old school direct mail, junk mail, whatever you want to call it, to new school technology, you know, IP address, WebGen Mail, mailing website visitors that don't convert. They go to your website, they're not excited enough to give you their phone number and email address. So now we mail them a card and say, hey, you were on our website, but we didn't get your contact information. Please give it to us or call us. So we're mailing website visitors, and that's an awesome new product that we've been doing for about 6 months that we're really excited about that I didn't even get into on this presentation because I was pressed for time. If anybody wants to see this, email me, call me. We'll set up another demo specific for how much data is in your state, in your county, what do you want to do? Every client's a little different, and we try to listen to design something that's going to ROI because we want, last year I did $20 million worth of junk mail and 18 million of it was repeat business. Okay, we like repeat business, people that mail every week, every month. That's what we live off of. So design something that's going to ROI for you.
All right, well, Jeff, thank you very much.